Hello, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to tie a great panfish fly. This fly is also used for crappie. This is a late season fly as we're getting into fall right now. I have a size 10 hook. I have some 6/0 uni thread. Start my thread, base of the hook, right at the end of the hook. And the tail is going to be some Peacock sword. I like to use the Peacock sword up near the tip of the sword. And you just want to have those sort of flat so they still have their natural curve to them. You don't want to mix them up too much. Then you're just going to measure about a shank length. I like it just a little less than a shank length. You can tie them in however you want. And then just bring my thread up to about 2 eyes in front of the eye. Thread about here. And this is a number 10 hook. Nymph hook, so about 2 or 3 eyes from the eye of the hook is where you're going to want to start your body. And then I'm going to use olive floss. Just tie that in right here. Oops, got away from me. Tie it in and come back down. And then I will just throw a half hitch or 2 right there. And then you're just going to wrap this olive floss to make the body. Since you're using a single strand, or since I'm using a single strand, going to do more wraps than if I was using like a 4-strand floss. But to the best of my knowledge, silk only comes in single strand. Just wrap up to that point there and tie off your floss. Okay, next you're going to get your rubber legging material. I like black rubber legs. This is Heron Perfect Rubber in black. I think this is like a medium. I'm not sure. It's like a medium black. And I'll just tie one rubber leg on one side. And you want to cut it so it just is less than the length of the tail, so it extends just under the length of the tail. And you don't want to stretch it when you're doing this, because if you stretch it, it's going to be way less. You can have something like that. You can add more legs. 2 is pretty sufficient, I think. Okay, the hackle. This is a Chinese rooster neck, and this is like a lime green. And you're going to want a pretty fair size hackle, or small size, like so. If you don't have a hackle, the smallest is like a size 8 or a size 10. You want it sized for your hook. If you don't have the proper size hackle, color a white hackle with a Sharpie marker. That works just as well. And we're going to stroke all the fibers back like so. And then we're just going to tie it in. You don't want too webby, yet you don't want too spiky. So it's not really a dry fly hackle. It's not really a wet fly, you know. It's more of like a panfish grade hackle. And you're just going to stroke all the fibers back, and you're going to wrap up to about 1 eye length away from the eye. This hackle adds a good bugginess to the fly. And it adds more body and depth that contribute to the overall shape. So just tie off your hackle. Just tidy up a little. And then your wing is going to be peacock sword. I'm going to take it from more the base of the feather of your peacock sword. So you just want to take about the same amount plus 2 strands as your tail is what I figured it out to be. So 8 strands, you could say, and you all want them curving the same direction, like that. See, I have one that's not curving. Just put him in the wastebasket. And you want them curving down, and you want the wind to extend just beyond the length of the tail. Just tie that in like so. You can see how that looks right there. Just trim off the butts. Just hold the wind in place while you're tying it down. This will just help it really lock itself in place. And then I'm just going to whip finish. And the fly is completed. You can add head cement if you'd like. I generally do, but I won't on this one. This fly looks pretty good. You can see what it looks like. This rubber leg should be sticking out. This has very good action in the water, I have found. And it's a killer for crappie and panfish in late season. Thanks for joining me, and I appreciate your views, and I'd like to hear more from you in comments. Tight lines.